What up, world? We back. It's your boy Chuck Wick Ills, aka Charles Brown. How y'all doing? Good. So I got another review for you. Organized Noize EP. That means extended play. That means it's no more than like 6-7 songs on an EP. Organized Noize just dropped a little something just to let y'all know. I guess they still in the game. I want to give y'all a little backstory on this group before I do this review. I'm sure if you come into this channel, you're probably familiar with old school stuff that is significant to someone born and raised in the 90s, or if you are old soul, like you might be 18 right now, but you know who Organized Noize is, you know who Outkast is, you know who Goodie Mob is. So I'm gonna give you a history lesson either way, from my perspective of what organized means to me. So Organized Noize are the producers of Outkast, Goodie Mob. They are known for TLC. They've done some TLC, some In Vogue, some ludicrous stuff. They have a crew called the Dungeon Family, in case you didn't know. And that's including some of the people I just named. Outkast, Goodie Mob, your boy Sleepy Brown, and just a bunch of people that run, Big Gip. Andre 3000 is Outkast, Big Boy is Outkast, but they also all go by Dungeon Family. When Dungeon Family dropped, I want to say, I never really knew about Dungeon Family or Organized Noize or any of that till Outkast dropped. When Southern Playalistic Cadillac Funky Music, that's a hell of a title right there, dropped, we was living like that. Like when they came out, Dre got the wife beater on, and they playing cards or dominoes, whatever they playing at the table. Dudes is just deep up in the house chilling, just trying to, just stay out of the way. But we still living like we living out here, just living hand to mouth, day to day. That's exactly how we was living back then. So it made a lot of sense to relate to Southern Playalistic Cadillac Funky Music, because we was driving caddies, like, not all of us. I mean, we had hoopties. Back then we like, oh, you got a bucket, a hoopty. We was driving hoopties. We was running around just out here, just wilding. And we related to it because we didn't feel like we were bad people or anything like that. We just felt like we were caught up in a situation. And when you listen to Outkast, I'm talking about early Outkast, when they first dropped, it was dudes that was just like us. They was caught up in a situation. Wasn't nothing they can do about it but try to make the best out of it. And that whole tribe, that's when you're young and you're running with 15, 20 dudes. That's what we felt in the Dungeon Family. But we recorded a lot, so we related to a lot of the aspects of dudes meshing together and just making music. And you get on that one, you get on this, I want to get on that beat, all that just because we were 15 deep making all kind of music and things like that. So they were just an extension of what we were doing. They just had a deal. We didn't have no record deal, but we related to that. And they were saying a lot of the things we were saying at the time. We were feeling a lot of their experiences. Dre wasn't the same Dre you know now as Andre 3000. Dre was a different Dre. He was a regular, average dude. You could tell he was a little bit smarter because he wasn't bragging about the stuff he was doing. He was just telling you what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? And Big Boy wasn't necessarily, Big Boy is always braggadocious, but it wasn't a thing where you thought, oh, I want to do all this crazy stuff, acting all wild out here. It was like he's just telling you how he doing it down there in Atlanta. I mean, just in case you didn't know, this whole scene of Dungeon Family, Organized Noize comes out of Atlanta. So apparently they got discovered. I don't know. I watched a documentary, and apparently Organized Noize, Rico Wade, Sleepy Brown, Ray Murray, I believe that's the three that are just the production part of Organized Noize. Far as I know, from what I'm being told, is Organized Noize produced much of the Dungeon Family's music, which includes 2 Chainz is even in that Dungeon Family, Future's in that Dungeon Family. So you got a lot of heavy hitters coming out, but they all apparently learned up under Organized Noize, Dungeon Family, and things of that nature. So I've grown to become accustomed to the sound of Organized Noize because it was nothing like it. What we used to do, we would listen to records for samples, trying to find this funky, the funkiest sample, the illest type of sound that resonated for that soulful. When we were in the 90s, the early 90s, it was all about soulful hip hop. So what we were doing was trying to recreate that, but the only way we knew how to do it, yeah, you had a couple bands that was playing. You had 783 from the West Coast, you had Stetsasonic from the East Coast. They were hip hop bands, but for the most part, you couldn't put together no band. You know what I'm saying? It was a long far between Stetsasonic and the roots of hip hop bands. It wasn't a lot of bands going around, so we used to record dig. We would crate dig and go to old record stores and dig through the records and find all these samples, try to find the most obscure shit. Some of your greatest hip-hop hits were discovered in a record store. Q-Tip does a lot of crate digging, and Pete Rock, DJ Premier. Crate digging, you go in the stores, these mom and pop record stores that have these dusty ass old records. You try to look at the cover and read the back and try to see how obscure it is, but also try to figure out, is this some funky shit? Is this gonna play well? Am I gonna find a dope ass sample? So we were doing a lot of that. What Organized Noize figured out was they didn't have to sample. They didn't have to sample anything. They figured out how to play the shit. I believe Rico and Ray Merrick, they all play instruments. So they figured out, nah, we don't need to sample. We don't need to crate dig and you know, I'm sure that, you know, they sample here and there, but their sound is more live instrumentation that'll sound like that record that we're digging to find. We're going, this guy sit there and play the shit while we're looking 400 records and shit, trying to find one dope ass sample to loop. They can sit there and just play it, make a whole song, make the bridge, the hook, make all that themselves. So that's what separated them from most people in the hip hop game. We were limited to what was already played, what was already created by another band. We had to go loop that and try to add kicks and snares and all that. You know, that's hip hop. But Organized Noize was playing at a higher level because they could play all that shit that these guys were playing in the 70s and 80s and recreate it and put their own spin on it. So we heard this through Outkast. Most hip-hop heads heard Organized Noize because when Outkast dropped that first video with the tank tops and Dre had the braids and all this crazy shit, and they smoking and all this shit, and they're singing with this this crazy funkadelic type of falsetto. I believe it might have been Sleepy Brown on the hook. We didn't know what the hell was happening, but we knew this shit was dope. Dudes watched that with their mouth open like, the fuck, what is these niggas doing? And then, this is back when you didn't have DVRs and all that, so you had to wait for the video. Wasn't no online to go look at it again, so you had to wait. Come on Rap City. Boom. Rap City used to come on every day after you would get out of school. If you were in school, 4 o'clock Rap City was on. So you went straight home to watch Rap City or whatever. And you had to wait. I mean, they had video jukebox, which you could pay. You put the 4-digit code in, run up your mama's phone bill. A video was $2.50, young boy. Back in the day, the video was $2.50 if you wanted to see that video again. And then it went down to 99 cents. But you still had to pay. That was your DVR, video jukebox. And you would put the little code in and play it, and the whole city could see the video you played. But that's a whole nother thing. I digress. That's down in DMV area, DC, Maryland, Virginia area, and you know, East Coast type of thing. I don't know where else they had it, but that's how that worked. So if you didn't want to pay for the video, you had to wait. So we had to wait for that video to come back on. We would just sit there, everybody be quiet, shh, watching that whole, just soaking up the whole video. Fast forward, we buy the record drops, we buy it. I believe Cass may have went out the gate on LA Reid and LaFace Records. They made Out the Gate and went platinum. I'm not sure, but I know that record went crazy. Their first record was a monster. And all over the record, you heard Organized Noize. Organized Noize did this. Organized Noize did that. And this stuff was so creative. Nobody was doing this. No one. So, I mean, you could throw in some. You could say Dre was kind of doing it. You could even say Facing Them was kind of doing it, but not at this level. You could say UGK, not at the level of Organized Noize. Not at the level of Organized Noize. Their stuff was next level. So then you drop Outkast, you get a smash out the gate. Outkast is like, all right, you like us, you gonna love Goodie Mob. Goodie Mob comes out, another smash out the gate. The beats are they're retarded because they're not trying to be traditional hip hop. These are Southern cats from out of Atlanta. They're not trying to be New York boys. They're not trying to be West Coast boys. This is something else. And the hip hop scene shifted, gravitated. You could say they pulled the entire, TLC was the first one to put Atlanta on the map per se, but not for hip hop. Hip hop heads, we love TLC stuff, but we did not consider Atlanta the mecca of hip hop like it ended up becoming, where everyone on the East Coast and a lot of the West Coast had to either sound like Atlanta or you was out of the game. It wasn't that yet till Outkast came along. And you can't copy Outkast. You can do a cheap imitation, or you can just dumb it down and take the best part of the beats and turn it into trap music. But you cannot recreate Outkast. They are too original. They're too distinct. You're not going to recreate that formula. So, once Outkast popped, Goodie Mob popped, their stuff was spiritual, intellectual, hood shit. So a thinking man in the hood, and it's a lot of us. It ain't just cats in the hood just acting crazy, trying to wild out. It's a lot of us thinking cats, and you put a lot of us in that frame of mind by making this thoughtful, intelligent music that's also hard as shit. You know what I'm saying? It's preaching about everything. Suicide, drugs, murder, robbery, also God. A lot of spirituality in those Outkast, those early Outkast records, those first 4 Outkast records. A lot of spirituality, a lot of fighting back against the government, a lot of poverty, resistance, just telling you what's happening. It's not all about we're big bad drug dealers, believe me. It was a lot of conscious. This was before Kendrick. This was before a lot of conscious guys was doing it. And especially when Outkast came. Outkast came in the middle of Wu-Tang and Redman and Lace Up Your Timbs. We gon' do some wild shit tonight. We running through the city. Outkast came out at that time. And so when they shifted the scene to Atlanta, because to be honest with you, the New York scene had, and even the West Coast scene, it was very redundant. It got so redundant that it was a character of itself. It was, you knew what a New York rapper looked like before he came out. Baggy pants, Timbs, or some Air Force Ones, a bandana like wrapped around the front of his head, and like a big shirt. You know what I'm saying? And back then, you had dudes walking around with the baseball bats, a Philly blunt in their mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just cliche. Then you had your West Coast guy. He's with his blue khakis. He got his Chuck Taylors on, a plaid shirt buttoned up to his neck, or some of them. And it was a cartoon of itself. Yeah, you had your independent thinkers, like you had your hieroglyphics on the West Coast. You had your Freestyle Fellowship, but they wasn't getting the numbers. They weren't getting the numbers. They were getting the love on the underground. And like on the East Coast, you had your Bahamadia, you had your Roots, and you had couple cats. You had people, but none of them achieved the numbers that a wannabe gangbanger or a wannabe Buckshot Shorty would amount to. Just doing a lot of, you know, pretending thug shit. So Outkast comes along. It's more realistic than what most people are used to. My clique was doing reality rap from the beginning. It was reality rap. It was real. It wasn't pretend, and we didn't stand for a lot of fake coonery and shit. But you had these corporate entities who had a lot of money wrapped up in getting a corporate coon to jump out there, dress up in a costume that he does not wear on a daily basis, to pretend that he's something that he's not. And there was a lot of that going on. So you got cats coming out of nowhere with these amazing records that are telling you, you know what I'm saying, I'm just Andre, this is Andre, y'all just gonna have to make amends. Like some spirit, like real shit. Changed everything. I started to focus, because now you're selling millions of records, but you're being real and you're playing your own music. And all this is thanks to Organized Noize. So once you hit that level, there's no going back from that. You got Outkast getting nominated for Album of the Year against white acts that are not rap at all. You know what I'm saying? So you're on another playing field. Fast forward, Outkast is coming out the gate with #1 albums first week type of stuff like that. So naturally labels are going to gravitate to that. Change the entire game. So this is why I feel Organized Noize are forever. They are forever in the top list of producers of hip hop, because you can't touch them. You can't question. Like look, I'm gonna read off just the people that's running with Organized Noize. So right after Outkast, you had Goodie Mob, Sleepy Brown, who was a singer, but he came out. We followed everything that came out. Witch Doctor, Cool Breeze drop. Ceelo comes out of that whole Goodie Mob tree. We know where Ceelo went. Slim Cutter Calhoun, Killer Mike, Bubba Sparks. You know what I'm saying? So out of that, then you get Run the Jewels, you get Future. So you just got, and I'm just scratching the surface. You know what I'm saying? And you just got that whole lane of just ridiculous music. And if you're a music fan like me, it's not all about just rap. It's just about good music. So fast forward. For whatever reason, Outkast decides, if you watch the documentary, The Art of Organized Noize, I believe it's called. If you watch the documentary on Netflix, you will hear Organized Noize. I believe it's Rico says that Dre decides, because they were already learning how to produce and make their own music. Andre 3000 of Outkast is learning. He learned how to make his own beats, which you teach a man to fish, he gonna fish. So apparently Dre decided, all right, the next one, which was probably the biggest album ever, we want to do all the production. We were tinkering and doing beats here and there. If you read the credits, you'll see Andre did a beat here, did a beat there, but mostly it was a lot of Organized Noize stuff. And I'm sure you know Andre and them had their input or what have you, but for the most part, they were just like giving beats. Apparently they were in the studio during the creative process, let's say that. But all of a sudden, for the next album, their big album, I believe the double CD, I believe, it could be the one before that, Andre and Big Boy decide they're going to do all their own production. Organized Noize takes this as a slap in the face, which, depending on how you look at it, it is a slap in the face. Me personally, now I'm going to be real with you, when I watched the documentary and I heard Rico say that was some arrogant shit, I felt the way. I kind of felt the way, because you're basically saying what they supposed to forever be under your thumb. Like they can never fish their own fish and make their own beats. Like for the rest of their life, they supposed to what? Wait for your beats? It don't make no sense. Redman learned how to produce from E-Double, from Eric Sermon. Redman makes his own shit now. A lot of people learn how to produce, start making their own shit. That's the culture. Eminem learned from Dr. Dre, making his own beats now. Eminem been making his own beats since the beginning. But he got Dre beats for the first album, second album, whatever. Now, most his, you can't wait on Dre. You can't wait on anybody. So I felt a way when Rico Wade was like kind of feeling like Dre slapped him in the face by saying he wanted to make his own beats on his own album. I don't see any rapper, any real rapper that's really a guy that's in control of his own destiny, just sitting and not making his own beats at some point. That's to be expected. I feel like it was selfish on his part to expect Andre 3000, one of the most creative MCs ever. You don't think he's gonna have his own sound? He's gonna up in his head that he wants to hear? It's got to be your sound? That's crazy. That's insane. So, long story short, I guess they had a falling out. And that falling out, I don't think that it's been resolved. I don't know. I'm not in the camp of Organized Noize and Dungeon Family, but I do know that Andre 3000 is not on this EP. Big Boy's on it, but Andre 3000 is not on this EP. And I said that to say this, that is a fucking shame. That is sad. I am actually saddened that Andre 3000 is not a part of this EP. That is a disaster. Y'all need to work this shit out, for real. And I'm not really, I think this would have been a better project, honestly. I don't know the ins and outs. I know that there were issues within the camp with this guy's ego and things like that. But as far as why they are upset, I don't know. I think it has to do with that because this guy took it a certain way and he lashed out about it. So this is where we are. So I said to say this. There's a lot of history with this group. 20 years of Organized Noize. He admittedly agrees that he fell off due to drugs, due to arrogance and things like that. If you watch the documentary, he'll admit it. He'll admit it that they all had arguments and fights and whatever. But apparently they're back together. Organized Noize has dropped a 7-song EP, self-titled EP. It has features from Joy, Scar, Big Boy, Ceelo, Big Rube, Sleepy Brown, who is a part of Organized Noize. 2 Chainz is on here. You know, so it's. I thought it would have been more features, to be honest with you, and I thought that it would have been like Killer Mike would have been on here. There's no Killer Mike that I heard. There's so many people that could have been on here. 2 Chainz is on here, but there's no Cujo, no Timo, no Witch Doctor, no Cool Breeze, no Big Gip. I don't know what's going on over there. I don't know what's going on. But I don't think you can drop this album without them names that I'm naming. Point blank. I don't know what they're trying to prove, but it is what it is. So I can only review what I got. So this is what I got. So let me run through this real quick. I ain't gonna hold you up. We're gonna find out together if this album's dope or not. And you let me know what you feeling in the comments or hit me up, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. So I'm about to review the Organized Noize 7-song EP. And we're gonna go from there. Here we go. Let's start this off. 7 songs. We're gonna go through all 7 songs real quick. See what's popping. First song, Anybody Out There. And I assume that all these songs are produced by Organized Noize. So I don't need to say who produced what because we're going to just assume that it's all Organized Noize production. Anybody Out There starts the EP off very good. It's like a hard trap, dirty South beat. This shit they invented. Everything that they've already done, that everybody stole, they just revisited it and came back with a hard, nice intro song. It's a great way to start this CD off. There is 2 features on here, Joy and Scar, and I believe there is no rapping on most of this EP, which in my opinion is a mistake. I did not get into Organized Noize for all of the singing that they do, which is great. We pretty much love Organized Noize for their rap contributions to hip-hop. Not to say that they don't have the right to do whatever they want to do with their album. I feel like there should have been more collaborations on this album from Dungeon family members and pure just Organized Noize affiliates. Should have been all over here. That's the only thing the only complaint I got right now. So let me keep it moving. Next song, We the Ones, featuring Big Boy, Ceelo Green, and Big Rube. This is an anthem track. It's stadium music, stadium status. It's like revolt music. This is think for yourself, stand up and understand what's going on around you. We need to fight back, fight the power type of track. I dig it. I really miss Big Rube. I really miss Big Rube. The simple fact, Big Rube got me through a lot of stuff back in the day. I used to listen to Big Rube's poetry on I believe every Outkast record had a Big Rube verse, and it was always dope. So I didn't know how much I missed him till I heard him on this EP. Good work. 2 songs in is good. Next song, Chemtrails, featuring Jimmy Brown and Sleepy Brown. Sleepy Brown is part of Organized Noize. He is the singing part of Organized Noize. They brought out Sleepy Brown after Organized Noize was really rolling and popping, and he dropped the solo album. I personally didn't get the solo album. It started to feel like they were doing a lot at that time. I didn't get the Sleepy Brown album, but he's all over this CD, which is a good look. He's doing his thing. Like I said, I wish they could have had more of the original cast. Chemtrails is not a bad song. It's bouncy, it's happy, almost a disco type of feel. This is a sound that a lot of people are doing these days. They actually probably could have put a feature or 2 on here, and this could have came out and done really well. Like far as a rapper or something on this song, it would have probably got a little, it probably would get a little more play than it's going to get. Next song, Why Can't We, which is like a very reflective song. It's another good track. It's like the end of a movie. Like the movie's going off and everybody's holding hands and everything worked out, and the villain is in jail, and the hero is battered and bruised, but he's alive, and this is what it sounds like to me. Got that womp bass that we missed. That Outkast is a good look. And so we got 4 songs in. Now I'm gonna be completely honest. These will not be in rotation for me. They're good music. It's good music. I don't see me 6 months from now, or even 3 months from now, like bumping all of this. But it's good stuff. I mean, it is what it is. Next song, Cush, featuring 2 Chainz and Joy. Another good track. It sounds like some old Outkast. It sounds like something that they probably would have used, but they probably would have flipped it and put more diversity on it. They probably would have changed a couple things and made it into a Cash song. But this is a good Cash joiner. This was the first song released off the EP before it dropped, and it was dropped on 420. So this is basically a 420 song. It's a lot of 420 songs starting to circulate, and I don't have no problem with that. It is what it is. So another good song. Again, it would have been dope with an artist spitting a verse, but no. Besides 2 Chainz, 2 Chainz got busy. I like 2 Chainz, but they had a lot of room on these songs. A lot of these songs are long to me. A lot of these songs are long, and some of the hooks repeat a lot where they could have put a verse. You know what I'm saying? Like they could have put a verse there, but I'm not gonna keep harping on that. Let's keep it moving. Next song, Awesome Lovin', featuring Sleepy Brown, and this is like some 80s Peaches and Herb. Like you got candles and y'all eating caviar, whatever y'all eat. Not in the hood, you ain't eat no caviar, but she made you some crazy fried chicken and some green beans. You know what I'm saying? And some whatever. You put this on and you might get in that night. She lit some candles. Get ready. So I ain't nothing whack. It's not. It's slowly winding down. The album is slowly winding down. It should be winding down. It's 6 of 7. But you know how some stuff just gets better. It reaches a level toward the end, and you're like, oh my God, this album's crazy. This one went the opposite way with me, and it kind of, as it went on, it's like they put their best stuff first, and then as it went on, it filtered down. It's not bad. It's just, it is what it is. The last song, The Art of Organized Noize, it's like another trap beat. To me, it's a little bit long. Like, some of these songs are a little long. My thing is, and I love Organized, I love what they do. I think there should have been more creativity on this album. Some of this stuff, like they're repeating, they're sampling this woman's voice and just repeating that for almost 4 minutes. And I don't think that's, for all the time you've been away from the game, I don't think this is the best you can do. I know this ain't the best Organized Noize. I'm going to wait. I'm going to reserve judgment because I know Organized Noize got a better sound planned for us, because this is a B. I'm going to give it a B+, which by any grading system, that's good. You passed with a really good mark, but you could have did better. And I don't review albums that I don't like. I don't make, you'll never see a review on here where me, I'm dissing somebody or giving a whack grade or whatever. Why waste my time with that? I'm not even going to listen to your shit. And let alone make, how long these reviews take? So I'm not going to sit and listen and make a whole review dissing you. So if I reviewed it, I liked it. I love them for what they did. I love them for their past. And I want to see what they do in their present. This is a album, I believe, an EP they made with every intention of just being their own work of art from their own heart. And this is their own music, and that's great. But now, we didn't fall in love with just Organized Confusion. We fell in love with Dungeon Family. So now we need that Dungeon Family album. Get Dre, get Big Boy. I don't give a fuck. It's just music, bro. This need to happen. Because I don't know if this is the last record y'all gonna do, but I don't think I don't think Organized Noize can release another album like this. I just don't. I don't think it can be done. I don't think the world's asking for it. I don't think the world is going to want to hear it. We need the whole Dungeon Family. That's it. That's all. Now, I'm not telling you not to make no more music. Please do, by all means. Bless us with your presence. If you do this, it must be groundbreaking. It must be some stuff that we never heard. It must be some eclectic sounds, not sounds rehashed that we've heard before, just played different. It gotta be brand new. It gotta be some edits that we've never heard, some sound effects we've never heard, some song structures we've never heard. All of this has been heard. All of it. So I need Organized Noize to surpass Organized Noize on the next one. And that's all I gotta say. Shout out to Organized Noize. Shout out to everybody from the ATL, Dirty South. You know they coined that phrase, T-Mo and all them. Salute to Goodie Mob, salute to Outkast, salute to Dungeon Family, 2 Chainz, all of that whole scene. I really, really respect y'all. Hope y'all come back with another joint that's even doper than this, and get the whole family, man. My name is Chuckwick Eels, Charles Brown. Thank y'all for watching. Subscribe, shout your boy out, follow me, CLBMG.com. Peace.